So I'm Professor Niamh O'Mahony, Program Director of the MGA program at the ESB. I'm sitting here this afternoon with my opposite number at NEOMA Business School, Professor Marina Bastounis. And we have today with us also Sam Vogt, who's currently doing the NEOMA ESB link. He has just arrived at Reutlingen, so he's 2 weeks now at Reutlingen, fresh, if you like, at the start of the ESB semester. Also has fresh in his mind his experiences at NEOMA. Sam, we're going to ask you a couple of questions now. And the first question that I have is, why did you pick, as an American, why did you pick the French-German link?
Yeah. So, like you said, as an American, I know that I want to work in Europe. And so the advantages of working in not only the top economy, but the second top economy in Europe, as somebody who wants to stay and work here, provides you invaluable experience, not only with people who are native to the places, but also people who also want to come and build a community in France. So at both business schools, they offer you a very international experience from people all over the world, from East Asia, North Africa, the Middle East, the Americas, myself, and even people who are grown right here at home.
Okay. What would you
So I
say?
should presume. So I presume, Sam, that you're fluent in French.
Not at all. I speak zero French, and I'm in the process of learning German. I've been learning German since I was in my bachelor's, but I did not speak a single word of French when I went to France, and it wasn't a problem.
And just to mention here that English is the language of the program. So regardless of where you start, regardless where you finish, you don't need to be able to speak a word of the language of the country. Everything is completely through English. Sam, maybe we can ask you, what were your highlights in the first part of the program at NEOMA?
Uh, could you, in terms of the school, or in
So
terms of
maybe it was school, maybe it was the social activities, the ability to travel, completely open. What were your highlights?
yeah, so I mean, there's a multitude of highlights. I mean, not only school-wise, with everybody that I met at the school, like I said in the previous question, being all international and people who are from in France, Germany. But I think some of, especially the highlights, especially socially, is I went to every single Reims football game at home. I met a lot of people not associated with the school who are very passionate about it, but I even went with my friends from school, and it was definitely something that I was very, very gracious to find. And one thing that I wished that I could have been a part of if it was during the summertime was the rowing club. I'm a really big rower, and they have a rowing club in Reims as well.
Mhm. And in terms of academics,
In
what were
terms
the
of
highlights?
academics in Reims, I think my work or my studying, especially with Isabelle Duquesne and a lot of the other professors there as well, are some of the best professors I've had throughout all of my academic career. Um, they have experience in pretty much anything that you want to know. You can find somebody who's been in finance for 30 years, somebody who's been doing humanitarian work, somebody who's been doing supply chain. Anything that you want to do, you can do it at NEOMA.
Okay. You're in your second week at the ESB, so it's a bit difficult to ask you to compare a semester at the ESB with NEOMA because it's just too early yet. But I know that, for example, already in the first 2 weeks, you've had some contact with our sponsoring companies. Can you maybe tell us about your trip last week to Celonis and also what's planned for tomorrow, for example?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first company visit that we went to, it was a company based in Munich, about 15 minutes away from downtown. It was in one of the most walkable places ever. But Celonis is a process mining company. And I didn't know a single thing about process mining before we went. I thought I was a little bit skeptical, and I was just like, "Oh, this is just another AI company." But then, within 5 minutes of a presentation of them explaining what they do, yeah, I was converted, and I was like, I almost want to start working here just based off of this presentation. But so even on the company visit, we went and we got a tour of their facility. We got a presentation of who they are, what they do, and why they're special. And then we had a catered lunch, and then we also got to work with their product. So they showed us how to do everything, how to explore. They showed us that we can go and learn in their own like Celonis Academy. And I think something that's especially awesome about their product is that it's it's pretty. I think the term they like to use is that it's this is my own, but it's ambivalent to every other software that you use. So you can use pretty much any other software and plug it in and it works. I've almost never seen any software there where that's the case.
Okay, so that visit last week was with a company that you hadn't heard of before.
Hmm.
But tomorrow you're going to visit a company that's very well known.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to go visit the Schwarz Group, which is one of the most well-respected companies in Germany. And we're going to go visit them at their headquarters in Neckarsulm. So I'm extremely excited about that. And so far, I think we got the schedule. I haven't really looked at it too much in depth, but I would imagine it's around the same thing, and it gives you some very valuable connections to the company, not only with employees inside, but also experience with how their process works. And if you want to apply to those jobs, it gives you invaluable insight as to what they're looking for and how to better apply yourself if you don't have a skill. Like at Celonis, they encouraged us if we wanted jobs there to look at SQL, which I mean, you wouldn't know that with just applying to the job. So it really does provide you that invaluable information.
Mhm. And just for people who are maybe not familiar with the Schwarz group, you're going to know them under the name of Lidl, for example. Maybe for those people who are looking at this clip that are not from Germany. So, thank you very much, Sam, for talking to us today. Thank you very much, Marina. And Sam, we look forward to talking to you again in the future.